Good evening, one and all. We welcome you all to the international webinar series on holistic health, well-being, and sustainable development 2024, commemorating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, nation celebrating 77 years of independence, and Viksit Bharat at 2047 as part of awareness and campaigns in collaboration with Sri Holistic Health Foundation India and Sri Research Institute Center for Art Sciences and Wellbeing. Before we start our sessions, let's take the blessings of Almighty.
कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः
With the blessings of Almighty, we shall continue with today's commemorations. Today, we are celebrating Vijay Divas, which is celebrated on December 16th every year in India, when the Indian Armed Forces, including veteran citizens and students, pay tribute to and remember the sacrifices of our soldiers. Vijay Divas celebrates India's historic military victory against Pakistan in the 1971 war, which also liberated Bangladesh from Pakistan. Vijay Divas commemorates and celebrates the victory of Indian armed forces in Operation Vijay against the infiltration of Pakistani troops. Rich tributes are given to martyrs who put their lives on line during the war. Since India and Pakistan partition in the 1947, there has been always animosity between the two countries for many reasons. One of these reasons was with regards to East Pakistan. The events leading to 1971 war were what promoted the Indian troops to get involved. Non-Muslims residing in West Pakistan were being targeted and required intervention. The war between Pakistan and India lasted for 13 days, ending on December 16, 1971, and resulting in the liberation of a new country by the name of Bangladesh. It was India's front which made nearly 93,000 Pakistani soldiers surrender and altered the contours of the map of the world. A proud moment for the Indian Army. This was their first conclusive win after the end of World War II. It also is a quite big day for Bangladesh as it earned status as an independent entity. The day is also celebrated in Bangladesh as Vijay Divas. Military holidays are always observed with great zeal in India. Government officials, the armed forces, and the citizens of India go all out to express their gratitude to their protectors. A tale of two nations, the subcontinent is divided into two, and thus Pakistan and India were born in 1947. India and Pakistan face off in their first war following independence in 1965. The two countries had their second war, resulting in India's victory and liberation of Bangladesh from Pakistan in 1971. Bangladesh celebrates its Independence Day annually on this day on March 26, 1970. Vijay Divas looks back in the history and pays tribute to the lives of soldiers lost in the Third War between two countries of India and Pakistan. The 20th anniversary of the victory was taglined by the Indian Army officials with the theme Remember, Rejoice, and Renew. Indira Gandhi was the Prime Minister of India during the historic war of 1971 between Pakistan and India. Pakistan attacked 11 Indian airfields that ignited war on December 3rd, 1971, which was an unprovoked attack. The only female prime minister in India's history, Indira Gandhi, was in power during this war. Lasting just about 13 days, the 1971 war is among the shortest in the history. The war ended with the creation of Bangladesh as a separate country. One of the attacks on Lonjwala was resisted by 23 Punjab, an infantry company, until the Indian Air Force arrived. So the 1971 war gave liberation to Bangladesh. The flag of Bangladesh was raised for the first time on March 23rd. It pays homage to the troops. A lot of soldiers lost their lives leaving behind their families. Without their valor, India or Bangladesh wouldn't be what it is today. It is important that the sacrifices of these soldiers are never forgotten. Great wars and their accompanying losses aside, everyone can benefit from learning history. There are lessons to be learned and prevented. Today is also commemorated as Bahrain National Day. In Bahrain, Bahrain National Day is on 16th and 17th December. That's two designated days to celebrate the germ, that is the island kingdom. In 1971, acquired independence after a long era of British rule. It would be the beginning of the prosperous and peaceful chapter of Bahrain. A success story scripted for and by Bahrain's. Naturally, it's a day that's very close to everyone. That is Bahrain's hearts. It is a public holiday when schools and virtually all business are closed. The Kingdom of Bahrain is an island nation in the Persian Gulf. Bahrain comprises a beautiful archipelago of 50 natural islands and 33 artificial ones, together with several other Arabian Gulf territories. Together with several other Gulf territories, the island was a British protectorate in the 1960s. According to the Protectorate Treaty, the British would offer protection to Bahrain in the event of attacks by sea. Bahrain was forbidden to build international relations with any other nations without the consent of Britain. The agreement effectively allowed Britain indirect but near absolute control over the island nation. World War II brought sweeping changes to the global landscape, and Bahrain was no exception. Discontent over British rule has been simmering for a while, but would soon tip over. Numerous protests took place, conflict and riots became more commonplace. On August 15, 1941, the two countries finally signed an agreement and freed Bahrain from being a British protectorate. 4 months later, Britain left and Bahrain became an independent country. Isa bin Salman al Khalifa was the Bahrain's first emir and ascended the throne when the country gained independence. A king beloved by his people, he was responsible for introducing numerous reforms that transformed the economy and stability of the country. Bahrain rose to become the financial hub of the Arabian Gulf during the emir's 38-year reign. It was no surprise why the people of Bahrain believed true independence came when the emir ascended the throne on December 16, 1971. Despite Britain officially handing over the reins much before in August, the emir's rule meant Bahrain as a nation had symbolically came into its own. And the celebrations continue every December with fireworks shows and a range of cultural events. Today is also commemorated as Barbie and Barney Black's backslash day in US. Barbie and Barney backslash day was created on December 16th every year to deny their very existence. Perhaps it's also the time for parents to take a break from picking up their children's Barbie dolls or turn off Barney's famous sing-along songs that have charmed children for many decades. Barbies are no longer limited to dolls. There are wide array of movies too. This day offering us an interesting and somewhat hilarious take on these household names allows us some of us to just forget about Barbie and Barney for a while. Today is also commemorated as the Day of Reconciliation in South Africa. Observes Day of Reconciliation on December 16th. The apartheid was a social segregation system that existed throughout South Africa as part of legislation forwarded by the National Party in 1994 to heal the bridge the gap between the people living in South Africa. The dedicated day was introduced. The Day of Reconciliation has helped bring harmony to a region still after decades of injustice. Following the long history of a nation still carrying the marks of colonialism to this day and the accompanying racism which existed due to practice, the Day of Reconciliation is a breath of fresh air. Racial exclusion has been a harsh reality in South Africa ever since the rule of Dutch Empire in 1652. There was no change in the way things were practiced by the time the British took over the country in 1795. Matters worsened in 1950 when the political representation of non-white people was abolished. While this further entrenched the racial segregation policies, a series of violent rebellions were sparked and an embargo on trade against the country took place. December 16 was chosen for the Day of Reconciliation due to its importance to both the African and Afrikaner people. It was a significant day for Africans as one of the most important protests against racial discrimination had taken place in the year 1910. For the people of Afrikaner, the date also marks the day of Convenant, a religious day observing the Woodchuckers' victory against the Zulus in the Battle of Blood in 1813. The spare of the nation, the Umkhonto we Sizwe, as it is known as South Africa, was established. Today is also commemorated as Kazakhstan Independence Day in Kazakhstan. It is the biggest national holiday since 1991 has naturally been its Independence Day. Celebrated on December 16, what makes it even bigger is the fact that it is often celebrated across 2 days, December 16th and 17th, not just that if December falls on a weekend, the following Monday is considered a holiday. The Kazakh set up yurts, indulge in delicacies, and dance the night way of folk music. They also dress up in traditional fashion for the ceremony at Okorida Presidential Palace. Situated on the Eurasian steppe, Kazakhstan is the biggest country in the region. As a result, it has been a melting pot of cultures, peoples, empires, and more. Neanderthals and their ancestors were also present in the central Kazakhstan hundreds of thousands of years ago. After the centuries of changes in weather, terrain, and rulers, Kazakhstan has turned out to be a beautiful country we know today. It's a shame that it was only a couple of decades ago that the nation gained independence. Today is also commemorated as National Chocolate Covered Anything Day in US. BBQ, potato chips, strawberries, anything in common. All of these things, thousands of others could be all considered key ingredients in a creative culinary confection. Because on December 16th, we all be celebrating National Chocolate Covered Anything Day. All those times when you wondered what would this taste like dipped in chocolate can now officially be answered. Maybe you are in the basics like chocolate covered fruit or cookies, but you rarely take the time to dip these ingredients. Or perhaps you are a bit more adventurous and are looking to try out new chocolate and cash dish. Either way, December 16th is the perfect time to satisfy your craving for chocolate covered anything while getting into the holiday spirit. There is also commemorated a National Underdog Day in US, which has been celebrated every third Friday in December since 1976. It's all about loving and cheering the underdog. This year, an underdog is a person in a competition or an event who is usually expected to lose or fail. On the day of the event, the usual approach of supporting and cheering the team is completely abandoned and the unacknowledged heroes are celebrated. This is important because we let them know we support them and that we have their backs. Let's do more cheer of the unsung heroes. We might just rouse the spirit of winning. Today is also commemorated as National Breaths Across America Day in US, which has a simple mission: remember fallen US veterans, honor those who serve, and teach your children the value of freedom. This day is an annual event that takes place every third Saturday in December at Arlington National Cemetery, as well as other cemeteries in the US. At sea and abroad, breaths are laid as family and friends remember both those who made the ultimate sacrifice and those who currently serve in the armed forces. Today is also commemorated as Stupid Toy Day in US, celebrated on December 16th every year. Mr. Potato Head, Beanie Babies, Pet Rock, and Tamagotchis all had our fair share of stupid childhood toys. It is comical to think about their purpose now, but we are all guilty of playing with them each night till our eyes gave out. Stupid Toy Day is more than just a day of remembrance for toys. It's an ode to the idiosyncrasies of our childhood and how the stuff that now seems stupid to us was once something we guarded with lives. Climb up the attic and look for the stupid toy as we celebrate the harmless frolic of our childhood on this fun day. With this, we shall conclude today's commemorations. Thank you everyone for joining us on these commemorations. We request everyone to quickly fill up the feedback form, which has been raised in the form of polls before leaving the platform. See you all tomorrow, at the same time, with the same joining link at 6 o'clock. Take care. Good night.